Welcome back to Thursday Thoughts. I think this is episode 40, and this is going to be the last Thursday Thoughts of 2024.
Amazing.
But we'll be back next year with some more. And today we're going to be talking about isolating or collaborating.
Very cool topic. I've had a lot of conversations recently about this topic. So before we unpack it, I was thinking about how awesome our dream team is.
Yeah, absolutely incredible bunch of people.
Yes. So when it comes to collaborating, imagine you and I, or just you, or just I, had to go and set up every cable, every table.
You mean for church on Sunday?
Yes.
Right?
Every
Like
coffee
context.
cup,
Yeah.
every chair.
Put all the seats out.
Yeah, I think they would be busy doing that the whole week. And
Well,
have
not only that, I mean, you could take it further. You could be like the one person who sets everything up, ready for everyone to come. And then when everyone arrives, say hello to everybody, and then make coffee for everybody, and then do all the
play the guitar.
announcements, invitations, then lead worship, and then put down your guitar, and then preach the message, and then do the response, and then greet everyone afterwards, and so on. So,
And then pack everything away again.
so I think there's something inherently there, like isolating, being a lone ranger, trying to do everything yourself, just naturally leads to a place of overwhelm and burnout.
Yeah, no, I can't even imagine it. And the beauty of having 240 people
Amazing
on our
people.
dream
Awesome
team.
people, awesome dream team here at Free Church.
That
Absolutely,
make
absolute
sure,
champions.
yes, make sure that people are greeted, that worship is done, that chairs are put out, that the floor is even swept. All these tiny
And shout out
details.
to Mabel.
Mabel
in
always
specific.
sweeps the
Like
floor.
every Sunday, Mabel is there with a broom sweeping that whole
Yes.
school, whole outside corridors. It's amazing.
So we took a moment to celebrate our dream team last week, and some of the people weren't able to be there. So if you on the dream team and you weren't able to be there, or if you were there, thank you so much. It's your collaboration that helps make all the things that happen possible, and makes it possible for people to encounter God, to find community, to be part of a bigger story.
Yeah,
And
brilliant.
we could not do church without the dream team.
So we got for each of our dream teams, just one for the ladies, one for the guys. There's a devotional here to set you up for 2025. If you didn't get that, if you're on the dream team, and you just reach out to us and let us know, and we'll keep one aside for you. And just something small to say thank you.
Thank you.
It's like the least that we can do
Yes.
as we partner together in collaboration here in the service of God in this city in such a time. And yeah, we're just so grateful for everyone that's part of the dream team. It's so cool to see so many people joining the dream team as well in the last couple of months. Like the number of people
Yeah.
on the team has grown. People are, something is a great culture in the team, and I think people want to be a part of that, which is just it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So there's
It's
power in
actually, you
collaboration.
start out not knowing each other, and then you become friends as you serve Jesus together
Yeah.
and the local church. And
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing.
So talking about collaboration, what are some of your goals, particularly around this kind of new hobby that is coming alive in your life for next year? Tell us a little bit about what's going on, how it came about, and the power of collaboration.
So the word collaboration, maybe I'm going to use a little loosely here, because it was more a story of bribery and corruption, actually,
Bribery and corruption.
Bribery and
That's a
corruption.
little different from collaboration, but
but has
let's see
led
how we get there.
it's led to a collaboration. Okay, so what happened is we were at a party, and two people from the church came at me from either side, surrounded me. I felt surrounded, and said
They were trying to collaborate with you.
they were trying to collaborate, but basically they said they want you to run Two Oceans Marathon.
As in you.
No, you.
Oh,
But in order to get you there, they knew that they had to get me to agree. So they said,
because we believe in collaboration, not isolation, right? So like if we're going to go somewhere, let's go together rather than just me go or you go. Okay?
yes. So basically, they bribed me to enter the Two Oceans 21 Marathon
Uh-huh.
so that we would be there with all of them and we could have fun together.
And
So-
that was easy for you because you've done lots of like half marathons in your life.
No,
right?
the furthest I've ever run is 10 kilometers once on a treadmill. So this is a massive thing, and I agreed to it. I don't know why. And so
It must
I've,
have been pretty persuasive there in the
well, it
collaborating.
was quite a sweet deal. They offered to pay for things. So, I couldn't really say no to that. A
Okay,
trip
so
to
this
Cape
is where-
Town.
This is where the bribery part comes in.
Yes,
Have you
yeah.
declared this to the tax man? Just in case.
Well,
listeners.
they're paying for me to, have a good time and run 21 kilometers.
Okay.
But then the collaboration part comes in where you've been helping me, and you organized a coach, and we've got a plan, and
So you've got a
actually,
running plan, you've got a running coach who's putting
yes.
a plan together. Who's
And
not
my
me, I'm not the
friends,
coach
no.
because I saw that like this is going to be a minefield.
And my
Because
friends
we spoke
that
about
are,
that. Like you said, would you be my coach? I was like, I'm not sure about that. I don't
yes.
think that'll be good for our marriage.
But some of my friends that are runners are like encouraging me and asking me every time they see me, how's the running going? How are your legs feeling? Yeah, even people that aren't runners are asking. So yes, I feel like I've got this community of people that's kind of growing and backing my
So what's the difference
goal.
between that now, where you've got people around you, you've got a goal, you've got a plan, you've got a coach, there's others that you're going running with, there's like collaboration is happening compared to what you were doing before you entered this, and when you were just like put your shoes on, go for a run.
So
kind of
full
lone
disclosure,
ranger.
yeah.
You said disclosure. I was trying to say lone ranger.
Lone
Lone
ranger.
ranger. Yeah.
Full disclosure, I used to run only bare minimum to get my discovery points.
I think a lot of people might be able to relate to that. So
Just
I
needed
I
my
feel like
discovery
there's others
points to
that are
keep my diamond status.
collaborating with you in this moment, going like, yes, I'm there.
Yeah, okay.
900
So
points a week. Yes.
running wasn't something I enjoyed. Running wasn't something I did for fun or particularly wanted to do. It was just a means to an end.
Okay.
And what I've learned is it actually didn't work. It actually was counterproductive. What I was doing was
So
counterproductive.
isolation causes frustration when
Yes.
it comes to running. Right?
Yes.
So you were trying to do something isolated, it's causing frustration. You were doing it because you felt compelled to. Now you've been invited into something. You're collaborating.
And I have a plan and
So
I have people.
So here's the thought: collaboration, in this sense. So community plus consistency in that. So that's collaborating, right? Consistency and community together. That is something that brings about change. So community, consistency equals change.
Yeah.
Collaboration.
Yeah, and I'm seeing it. I'm already growing stronger. It's only been a few weeks.
Yeah.
So we'll see if I make it the
So
whole way.
The same for me. Like this year, I've found someone to run with, to train with. So in some of my previous, most of the training I did for previous comrades was the Lone Ranger thing. Just get out there and do it and get it
And you
done.
did really well, actually, for a Lone Ranger.
Yeah, it was okay. But the thing is, you don't know what you don't know. So this year, and just over the last couple of months, I have found a running partner. So we run together now on the weekends, and it's a great time. We're getting to share life stories together, learning from each other. He's sharing things, like running tips and routes. And the thing is, I'm finding that when you run with someone, so this is the parable of life, that you're better together because someone else helps you break barriers that you didn't know that you could do. Or maybe you thought you could, but you never actually got behind it and did it. So this year I've run the personal best across all distances. Simply because of running with someone.
Sure. That is powerful.
Yeah. And so could I have done it before? Yes, but there's something about being alongside someone, collaborating in something that unlocks something in you. So you're better together. It helps you break barriers.
Yeah, and I've seen in you where you would do the runs that were needed to be done. You followed a training plan, but sometimes you just didn't feel like going.
Yeah.
Especially your very long runs on Saturday mornings. And now that's the time that you run with your friend, and you're actually more motivated, you're more energized.
Kind of life-giving.
You're looking forward to it.
Yeah, this becomes a highlight because it's not just about the running. Now you can actually, you can.
Yeah.
There's more of relationship building and all those kind of things. So definitely better together. And that's talking a lot about running, but there's a biblical premise or a theological basis for this too. Right?
Yeah, 100%. So if we look through the pages of Scripture, there's so many people in Scripture that we can look to say they didn't do any of the things that they did alone. So if you look at Moses, he had Aaron and Miriam with him. If you look at David, he had his mighty men, his bestie Jonathan.
So there's collaboration happening.
Yeah, even Jesus, he had his 12, he had the 72.
Yeah, very good.
He wasn't trying to achieve anything by himself.
Yeah, so it's this idea of God works in team, right?
Yeah,
He
Paul
works,
had Silas and Barnabas and Timothy. And then if you look at Saul, who
Like
was
Old Testament
Not
Saul,
Saul,
before he
not
came
Paul,
Saul.
yes.
Yeah.
If you look at him,
King
in
Saul.
contrast, he was a lone ranger.
Yeah.
He was dangerous.
Yeah, very good.
He started to fall apart, make bad decisions, and ultimately it didn't end well for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So all the
isolation
heroes,
leads to frustration. He burns out. He crashes and burns spectacularly. And one of the reasons can be because he didn't surround himself with the right people.
yeah. So all the heroes in Scripture have this collaborative mindset, that we're better together mindset.
Yeah, very good. I mean, this time of year often, is a time where people are feeling a little tired and just want to withdraw or
Yeah,
isolate,
definitely.
like be done, escape from, job, life, whatever. But it also, it can be a time where it reveals what you really believe about collaboration or isolation. So it's just over the last while, I've been chatting to someone who's been on a recovery journey. So they've been dealing with something in their life, and they decided to make a clean break with it and start to attend recovery meetings. And they did incredibly well for several months, and were sober and just staying the course, and then hit a milestone which they set for themselves. And then after that decided, well, I think I'm just going to relax a little bit. It's this idea, you start with the recognition, like, oh, I have a problem, like I'm an addict, or I'm struggling with addiction. So you admit that. Then you find freedom. Then you get to a point where you go, oh, maybe it's not that bad.
I don't need anyone else.
And start to tell yourself again, like, I don't need anyone else. Actually, I can beat this thing. I've done it for several months, so things will be okay. And this person just kind of fell off the wagon because they isolated themselves instead of keeping the collaboration going.
Yeah.
So there was community, but there wasn't consistency. So when the community, there was consistency with the community, change was happening, collaboration was happening, there was victories happening. But as soon as this person removed themselves from the community, isolated themselves, everything fell apart. So now they're in a place where they again have to make again the same decisions and start rebuilding. So it's not a complete loss, but it's just now you got to start again.
Yeah, and actually the thing about that is you break trust not only with the people around you, but you actually break trust with yourself.
Yeah.
So then you have to, starting from scratch doesn't sound like the worst thing, but it's so bad for the self-esteem, for the the motivation, all those things.
Yeah.
So whereas if the person had stayed in community, they wouldn't have had that struggle.
But
Sure.
I mean, with that said, if you're in that place and you've made some unwise decisions, the thing is you don't start back at zero.
Yes.
You sort of can pick up where you left off.
Yes, you have built some
But there
muscle.
is a mindset that you have to overcome. Like, okay, I've got to. The proverb says, "So the righteous fall 6 times, they get up 7." You still have to get up.
Yeah.
So there's some intentionality required. So it's just an encouragement to you in this season as we go in is to not isolate.
Yeah.
Or be very careful of what you're telling yourself. As soon as I think the bottom line here is, as soon as you hear these words in your head, like, I can do this
By
without
myself.
the help of others, that's like skating on thin ice.
Yeah. So it's a season of the Christmas season, a lot of people going on leave, and a lot of potentially family dynamics in the mix and all those things. And we can tend to go, oh, I actually just don't need this. And then we scroll social media and we see so-and-so's on the beach and their life is perfect, and this person's in the mountains and their life is perfect, and that person's Christmas dinner looked like perfection. and we become lonelier and lonelier. We isolate, we withdraw ourselves, and that's when it actually becomes a dangerous situation. Not just for addicts, for all of us, because we believe the lies that we tell ourselves. So in the season that we're going into, the festive season, be careful of comparing yourself to someone else's highlights reel on social media.
So would you say that comparison drives isolation?
Yes.
Do you think there's a downward spiral?
Yes.
That as you compare, you isolate.
Yes.
Because you feel like perhaps insecure, there's contempt, or the comparison trap in that sense. Just making this connection now, comparison would drive you towards isolation.
Yes, because if you look at social media now, everything's curated and perfect, and you would look at someone and say, oh, they're able to take their children to this fantastic, holiday resort, or they're doing these incredible events and I can't afford that, or I don't have a family, or whatever. And it drives you to feel insignificant or insecure.
Yeah.
And then you will isolate because of comparison. So the encouragement is actually reach out to somebody. There is somebody around that would be willing to have a cup of coffee, to go for a walk with you. It doesn't have to cost money to have a community.
Yeah.
Just to gather around a table and you can have water.
But in that,
be with
inherently,
people.
there's also this idea that you can initiate, right? You can be the change that you want to see. So if you're looking for community, for collaboration, is don't fall into the trap of waiting, like, oh, when is someone going to reach out to me?
Yes.
You can pick up the phone, make the call,
Invite
reach
somebody.
out, start something.
And that's the thing, is a lot of people don't want to do that because they're ashamed. Oh, my house is too small, or untidy, or whatever. The reality is you can meet in a park.
Yeah.
You don't have to,
or you can go for a
don't
run.
don't make excuses that that drive isolation. You can find a way to find community and build community and be part of a community that costs nothing,
Yeah.
and that can be in a neutral environment that is safe.
And I think it's a massive strategy of the enemy
Yeah.
to get us to isolate.
Yes.
Like as soon as we're isolating in whatever area of our life that is, that's dangerous ground.
Very much so.
We become very vulnerable.
Yes, we are vulnerable because then we believe all the lies and
Yeah. And the easiest person to deceive is yourself. So
Yep.
if you're isolated, you've got no one who can bring about the correction of truth or call you out
Yes.
and say, hey, you're behaving like an idiot.
yeah, and encourage
Stop
you.
it.
Yeah.
Or you're doing well, So there's power in collaboration. So as we head into just December, last episode of this year, reflecting on 2024, looking ahead to everything to come in 2025, the year to come alive and
Come
to
alive.
thrive, is be careful of isolation and
Yeah.
lean into collaborating, community.
Who can you invite into your
Yeah,
world?
Great question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
We will see you next year.
To 2025. See you then.